Welcome back, webheads or Westies. Today I'm gonna do a Marvel Spider-Man 2 review. This is my third game review, so I hope you guys enjoy this. Please leave comments on where I can maybe improve in the future. But yeah, let's get into this. So yeah, guys, I just want to start off by saying this game is amazing. It does have some drawbacks, which I will get back or get more into later in the video. But yeah, guys, I just want to say from the get-go, I love this game, and whether you should buy this game, I do want to say, like, go, I give you the license. I enjoyed it. I think you will enjoy it. So yeah, let's just start with this video. So let's talk about the story. I really love the story. There was nothing wrong for me. I know a lot of people perhaps mentioned that, like, they didn't necessarily like the fact that, like, Peter at the end, spoiler alert, like, kind of retires, but not really, but he does. So they felt like they kind of nerfed Peter. They did our boy like bad by like also making him look weak. Like, I mean, like, and also I feel like a lot of people were maybe perhaps disappointed that they didn't get to play or see a lot of scenes with like Venom Peter or Bully Maguire or Bully like this version of Peter Parker. So that was like a few controversies or things that people didn't like. In my opinion, it didn't bother me that much. I love the story. I believe obviously when you are very ambitious, you also have to be realistic. So a lot gets cut out. So this is the result where you obviously end up maybe with like a Peter that has the Venom suit on, and like the side effects of the Venom suit, there's not enough time. And like, I mean, you have to find a balance between having a great story, but that which is not too long, also not too short, which I feel like brings me back to one of the good things. This wasn't a long game, and like it was just perfect. Although I will like agree with people, like once you finish the game, there's not a lot to do. It kind of feels like, okay, so now I'm not gonna play this game. You can of course play the game again, but like the end game content is maybe perhaps something that they could have fleshed out more. That was one of my things. I will agree with people. But overall, the game has nice side missions. The main missions are good. I don't think it's too grindy. Like the first game felt like overwhelming with what you had to do. This time around, I felt like the side missions and the main missions all tied like into the story. Perhaps like there are some side missions that maybe set up potential like DLC content. There is also Easter eggs I liked, like, I mean, the Daredevil, yo dude, like that was kind of cool finding out that they even the Fantastic Four. So yeah, like it's really good. They might potentially in the future make new, like games, or they could be like, you know, missions where they could bring in the Fantastic Four or like shoots and stuff. So but anyway, that's about the story. I really loved it. I'm not gonna spoil it. It's really like good in my opinion. I I cried at the end because it was really sad. I mean, like, it's one of those stories where you want to do the right thing and you want to save people, but in the end you can't always save people, which is why like why being Spider-Man is so hard. You try to save everyone, your friends, people close to you, but it's not always possible. So yeah, that's not even spoiling things. This is how it always is. I mean, in the first game, you wanted to save Aunt May, but it couldn't because there was always other people. So it's always this like dilemma that's not easy to solve. So yeah, let's get into the gameplay. I love the swinging in this game. Oh my word, they definitely improved it. Like, the swinging was good, the traversal was good, the PS5's power was finally utilized. Graphic wise, this game looks amazing, as you can see in the background. So everything is great, right? But I do want to talk about the combat. The combat, which falls under the gameplay, the combat feels smoother. However, I do feel like the gadgets you have, they put more emphasis on it. It's definitely OP, but it extends the combos. It feels more fluid. However, it came with a drawback because a lot of people preferred the abilities of Peter in the first game because it gave you variety on, like, you know, how to play the game and so forth. But if I were to look at the bigger picture, thinking of like Miles and Peter together, you can't really give Peter like abilities, then you're gonna have to give Miles abilities, which kind of like cost wise in is too ambitious, man. Like, you gotta find a balance, which I feel like they did. um Peter and Miles play both the same combos. However, their abilities are unique to themselves in their own powers. Of course, in Peter's, he doesn't have like that powers, but he has like tech, and he has the smart, the wit to come up with like ways to somehow keep up with Miles. So yeah, I love the character progression of Miles. He definitely goes from someone who's very immature, maybe in some cases who does need Pete's help, balancing the Spider-Man life and Yura's, like, you know, like, I mean, like, Peter's been like kind of like a mentor, but also like Miles has a future, so he can't just do Spider-Man things. He has to also think of his future as Miles. I feel like they definitely emphasize their personal lives in Marvel Spider-Man 2 more than in the first game. So, like, I mean, for each of their games, it was more focused on the origin story. But now that we know who they are, they can maybe work on the character development, because, I mean, their powers still stay the same, but they need to grow as characters. And I feel like where they are at now definitely sets it up for Marvel Spider-Man 3 and potential DLCs and so forth. There are characters that are like that made a return from the previous game, like Scorpion, Martin Lee, Black Cat, and Yuri. Yuri makes a like more like her presence is more in this game, which I kind of like. A lot of people felt also that maybe perhaps like whole like alter ego or who she is now doesn't make sense. But I mean, it doesn't need to make sense, like, cause like, you know, like, she's a side character, but I do see her motivation, so I'm not that upset about that. I feel like as long as there like is character development, and Yuri's not one of my favorite characters, but she was kind of cool in Spider-Man or Marvel Spider-Man 1. Anyway, I digress. What I think about this game, it's definitely a must buy. Like, if you're on the fence, buy it. Like, buy it. If you a bit hesitant, wait. There was few surprises. Like, I mean, you get to play with Venom. That was so awesome, dude. I obviously saw it coming. I also want to talk about the Mary Jane missions. This time around, it was way, way, way better. You felt OP. They definitely thought it more, like, they thought it through with her. They made her OP because people definitely complained about her missions were too long and boring. This time it was short and she was OP. If you play the game on the hardest difficulty, it is kind of like challenging, not gonna lie. But yeah, overall, this is a fun game, man. Like, story wise, you can definitely see the budget, the boss fights, the cutscenes, the graphics, the dialogue, all is good, man. Like, I don't have much bad to say about this game. Like, if you play this game on the hardest difficulty, you get to experience, like, as you see in the background, the game is really hard, and Venom hits hard on the hardest difficulty, but it's so satisfying, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, like, what I think is gonna happen in Spider-Man 3, spoiler alert, Doc Ock will definitely make his return. A lot of people were obviously waiting for Green Goblin to come, but that's a villain. Like, there's always two villains, I believe, in a Spider-Man game. One main villain and like someone on the side that's like progressing the story until the like final act where the main villain comes. So yeah, and Peter always has some connection to the main villain. So yeah, very, very interesting stuff coming up. We have a Khan's DLC potentially coming up. So yeah, I would say I love this game. This game is a masterpiece, and if I were to give it a rating out of 10, I would give it a solid 9 because it was a masterpiece, but it wasn't perfect. It just gives you maybe room for improvement for Marvel Spider-Man 3. Yeah, but with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.